Close your eyes for a second, or better yet, keep them open and just look at whatever is in front of you. A coffee cup, a window, the glow of this screen. Notice that you aren't just seeing these things, you are aware that you're seeing them. There's a private, silent movie playing inside your head that only you have a ticket to. You know with a certainty that you are real, you are in there. But now, think about me. Or think about the person sitting across from you on the train, or your partner in the other room. You see their body, you hear their voice, you watch them move. But you have never, not once in your entire life, actually experienced their in-there-ness. You see the steam from their coffee, but you don't feel the warmth on their tongue. You hear their laugh, but you don't feel the spark of the joke in their mind. You are witnessing a performance of consciousness, but you are the only one in the audience. It's a bit of a heavy thought to let sit, isn't it? What if that person across from you is just a very convincing part of the scenery? We already know our minds are capable of this. Every night, you slide into a dream and encounter others. You talk to them, you argue with them, you might even be scared of them. In the moment, they feel entirely separate from you, with their own secrets and their own wills. But when you wake up, you realize the truth. They were just projections of your own brain. They were you wearing a mask. What if waking life is just a dream you haven't woken from yet? This is what philosophers call solipsism, the unsettling idea that your mind is the only thing that actually exists, and everything else is just a complex simulation being run by your own consciousness. It's a thought that has haunted humans since we first realized we were trapped inside our own skulls. Descartes couldn't solve it. Modern science can't find a way around it. And today, as we blur the lines with AI and virtual worlds, it feels less like a logic puzzle and more like a premonition. I'm not here to convince you that you're alone. Honestly, I hope we aren't. But I want to look at 5 signs that suggest the universe might just be a solo act. We're going to walk right up to the edge of that loneliness, not to fall in, but to see what it reveals about the things we take for granted. If you've ever felt that strange, quiet distance between yourself and the rest of the world, stay with me. Let's see what happens when we stop assuming and start wondering. So let's look at the first sign, and it's something you're experiencing right this second. It's the fundamental asymmetry of being alive. Right now, you know you're thinking these thoughts. You know the exact weight of your current mood, the itch of a sweater, the way your internal monologue sounds in the quiet of your head. This knowledge is immediate. You don't have to check a map or ask a doctor to know you exist. You are the primary source. But when you look at me or anyone else, that certainty completely vanishes. You see my movements, you hear my words, and you observe my expressions. Based on those external signals, you infer that I'm conscious. You assume there's a light on inside because I'm acting like someone who has a light on. But you have never, not for a single heartbeat, actually experienced my experience. You've loved people, you've spent years sleeping next to them, you've watched them cry, but you have only ever known your experience of them. You are still standing on the shore, watching the waves of their behavior, while never actually being the ocean. This isn't just about a lack of technology. Even if we had a machine that could plug my brain into yours, you would still be you experiencing my data. The gap is a fundamental feature of the universe. It's why we can have tens of thousands of conversations in a lifetime and still feel that strange, cold distance. Think about it through the lens of our modern world. In a video game, an NPC can walk up to you, tell you a heartbreaking story, and even shed a digital tear. They exhibit pain behavior, but we know there's no one home. Or look at the AI chatbots we interact with every day. They simulate conversations so perfectly, it feels like a soul is reflected in the text. But how would you tell the difference between a genuine consciousness and a perfect simulation? The unsettling truth is that you couldn't. From the outside, they look identical. If consciousness is invisible from the outside, then for all you know, you are moving through a world of philosophical zombies, beings that act, breathe, and speak just like you, but who are empty inside. This is why the famous line, "I think, therefore I am," is so lonely. It proves the thinker exists, but it leaves everyone else behind. This brings us to the second sign, the absolute privacy of your inner world. Even if we assume for a moment that other people are conscious, we hit a second, more subtle wall. You can never verify that their experience of the world is anything like yours. Think about something as simple as the color blue. You and I can both look at a clear sky and agree on the label. We both use the word blue because that's what we were taught. But what if your internal experience of blue is what I would call red? Or what if your experience of a sunset is a color I can't even imagine? We can use the same language and navigate the same world, but we are effectively locked in private theaters, watching two different versions of the same movie. We'd never know. We can't compare notes. This is what philosophers call qualia, the raw, subjective, what-it's-likeness of a sensation. And it's fundamentally incommunicable. You know exactly what your version of physical pain feels like, or the specific ache of a certain memory. When you tell a friend, "I'm hurting," they nod. They might even feel a flash of empathy, but they aren't feeling your pain, they are just recalling their own version of it and projecting it onto you. They are translating your words into their language, and in that translation, the original experience is lost. It's like trying to explain the concept of red to someone who has been blind from birth. You can talk about wavelengths of light or the feeling of heat, but no amount of description will ever transmit the actual experience of seeing the color. Now, realize that this is true for every single person you meet. You are all blind to each other's subjective depths. Language gives us the illusion of connection, but it's really just a set of shared labels for entirely private experiences. You've probably felt this in those moments when you tried to describe a dream or a profound realization, and the words felt like dry husks. You had to be there, like we say. But the truth is, no one else can be there. You are the only person who has ever known what it's like to be you, and you are the only one who ever will. If you can never truly share your experience, how can you be sure you aren't just a solitary mind talking to itself in a room full of mirrors? That leads us directly into the third sign, which is perhaps the most destabilizing. The fact that right now you cannot prove with absolute certainty that you are awake. Think about the last vivid dream you had. Maybe you were flying, or maybe you were just sitting in a kitchen having a conversation. While you were in it, did you doubt it? Probably not. You took the gravity, the light, and the people for granted. The subjective feeling of "this is real" was identical to the feeling you have right now. It's only because you eventually woke up that you were able to categorize that experience as a dream. But how do you know you aren't still in one? There is no secret physical mark, no watermark in the corner of your vision that distinguishes wakefulness from sleep. You could wake up tomorrow and realize that this entire conversation, the room you're sitting in, the memories of your childhood, the very history of the world, was just a particularly long and detailed dream. This is the famous dilemma of the philosopher Zhuangzi, who dreamed he was a butterfly. When he woke, he didn't know if he was a man who had dreamed he was a butterfly, or a butterfly now dreaming he was a man. If the feeling of reality can be faked so perfectly by your own brain every night, why do you trust that it isn't being faked right now? The solipsistic connection here is profound. In your dreams, you generate entire worlds. You populate them with people who seem to have their own lives, their own secrets, and their own autonomy. They surprise you. They tell you jokes you didn't think of. But the moment your eyes open, they vanish, because they were just you, fractured into pieces to keep the narrative going. What if your waking life has the exact same structure? What if everyone you've ever met, every stranger on the street, and every person you've ever loved is just a character in a dream you haven't woken from yet? If you can't trust your senses to tell you the difference between a dream and reality, then you can't trust them to tell you if there's anyone else truly there with you. You might just be a solitary consciousness, dreaming of a crowd so you don't have to be alone in the dark. The fourth sign takes us into the world of modern physics and simulation theory, but it suggests something much more profound than a simple computer program. There is a growing idea in science that the universe isn't made of stuff, but of information. And if reality is an informational construct, we have to ask, who is the observer? In the world of quantum mechanics, we've discovered that particles don't seem to choose a definite state until they are measured, until they are witnessed by a conscious observer. It's as if the universe stays in a state of pure, infinite potential until a mind steps in to turn that possibility into reality. If you take this to its logical conclusion, it suggests that the world isn't something you are in. It is something that is happening to you specifically because you are looking at it. Think about the way a rainbow works. A rainbow isn't a physical object hanging in the sky that stays there when you walk away. It is a relationship between the sun, the rain, and your specific eyes at a specific angle. If you move, the rainbow moves. If you close your eyes, that specific rainbow ceases to exist. What if the entire universe is a cosmic rainbow? In this view, you aren't a lonely player in a dark simulation. Instead, you might be the very point where the universe becomes aware of itself. This is what some call the participatory universe. It suggests that consciousness isn't a byproduct of the world, but the foundation of it. The others you see aren't just empty NPCs. They are the ways the universe mirrors your own depth back to you. Perhaps you are the only mind, not because you are alone in a void, but because there is only one mind in existence, a single, vast consciousness. And right now, it is looking through your eyes, breathing your breath, and wondering what it's like to be you. It's a shift from "I am all that exists" to "everything that exists is me." It transforms the isolation of solipsism into the ultimate connection, a universe that is alive, awake, and experiencing itself through the unique lens of your life. That brings us to the fifth and final sign, which is the most inescapable of them all: the fact that solipsism can never, ever be proven false. In science, we usually say that for an idea to be worth anything, it has to be falsifiable. There has to be some piece of evidence that could potentially show it's wrong. But with the idea that you are the only mind in existence, no such evidence exists. Think about how you might try to disprove it. You might say, "But people surprise me. I couldn't possibly be making up the things they say or do." But then you remember your dreams, where your own subconscious mind creates characters that shock you, argue with you, and tell you things you didn't know you knew. You might say, "But the world is so complex, with laws of physics and deep history." But any evidence of that complexity, every book you read, every scientific paper, every memory of a history class, is something currently being processed by your own awareness. Every bridge you try to build to get out of your own head is a bridge you've constructed within your head. You are looking for a third-person proof for a first-person experience. To truly know if I am conscious, you would have to be me. But the moment you became me, I wouldn't be an other mind anymore. I'd just be you. There's a famous, slightly dark joke about a philosopher who once wrote a letter to the great Bertrand Russell. She told him she was a solipsist and was genuinely surprised that more people weren't solipsists too. It's funny because it's a contradiction. She's looking for a community of people who believe no one else exists. But the joke doesn't actually disprove the point. It just reveals how strange the situation is. We are all standing in a room with no doors and no windows, trying to prove there's a world outside by looking at the paintings on the walls. This isn't a failure of our intelligence or a lack of better tools. It is a fundamental, permanent feature of what it means to be an I. You are the only thing in the entire universe that you will ever truly know from the inside. Everything else, every star, every atom, and every other person is an assumption, a beautiful, persistent, and totally unprovable guess. So where does that leave us? Are you actually the only mind in the universe? The honest, quiet truth is that I can't tell you. No one can. We've walked through the logical traps, the dreams, and the cosmic mirrors only to find ourselves right back where we started, inside our own heads. But I think we've been asking the wrong question. The question isn't, how do I know others are conscious? It's, what does it mean that I choose to believe they are? If you think about it, the fact that we can't prove other minds exist is actually a gift. If connection were a proven fact, like gravity or math, it would be mundane. It would be an obligation. But because it's unprovable, every act of empathy becomes a miracle. Every time you choose to listen to someone, to care for them, or to love them, you are making a radical leap of faith across an infinite, silent gap. You are saying, I can't prove you're in there, but I'm going to act as if you are anyway. This is where philosophy turns into grace. If the inability to prove connection makes you feel alone, remember that it also makes your choice to connect sacred. Every conversation is a trust exercise. Every moment of intimacy is a bridge built over a void. This isn't a weakness in our reality. It's the very thing that makes being human feel like something worth doing. So the next time you look at someone you love, try to see the paradox. Recognize that they are fundamentally mysterious, a soul you can never truly verify, and then choose to believe in them anyway. That choice, repeated billions of times every day by people who have no proof of one another, is what actually creates the world. I will never know what it's like to be you, and I choose to believe you're there anyway. We'll walk further next time.